Coach, what's the challenge preparing for your game Saturday without any idea of who you're going to – I mean, I guess a rough idea, one of three teams, but without really knowing who you're going to play and, having pretty drastically different results against the three teams?
Yeah, for us right now, we've got a lot of stuff still, which is, I guess every team does, but for us being in year one, there's still a lot of things that we need to shore up as a team and get better at, just focusing on us. So I think it's a really valuable time. Today's going to be a great practice to shore up some fundamentals and hone in on a few things. And the way we play, we can adjust pretty fast.
I want to ask specifically about the defense. I mean, obviously, I think we talked about it earlier in the year. It was really efficient. It's had its ups and downs lately. What's maybe the biggest thing you take from what you've seen from the defense and kind of look and say, okay, this is where we need to kind of maybe adjust things in the offseason to get to where the start of the season is the consistency?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, there's a ton of tactical stuff. There's a lot of schemes that we want to put in, and we want to play with a high IQ, and I think that's something that we take pride in. But there's also just a level of competitiveness and fight that you have to be able to show, and it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of focus. I don't think we had that eye of the tiger that we kind of needed for a month of the season, and when you couple that with missing a couple schematic things, I think that's where we lost our edge a little bit. And so we just need to focus on getting that back.
All conference teams came out earlier today. Tomas makes all freshman team. I think maybe notable Juan and Nate don't get to first or second. They get honorable mention. Just kind of your overall thoughts on on Tomas, and then maybe what you could consider a couple of omissions.
I think it's an honor for all three of those guys to be chosen by the coaches and be where they're at, and I think as it should be, those awards mostly go to the winning teams, and with us finishing where we did, we got to have a better season. We got to win more games, and we can start talking when that happens.
What does the scout look like in a week like this, where kind of like you said earlier, it could be one of three teams? Are you just kind of going over like how your games against those teams went, or what does that actually look like? Yeah,
like we've looked at all three teams and kind of really tried to evaluate one or two things that we got to do to win those games. Whether it's like obviously Pacific, we got to work on our ball screen coverages. We got to be able to work on a few things for each of these different teams that we might play, and so. Today we're going to get that in, and really just for us, like it's you can just look at our statistics. We got to get better at rebounding. We got to get better at taking care of the ball, and then as far as just us being crisp with our stuff, there's always stuff to work on.
Coming off of getting, I think it was 35 bench points the other day against Pepperdine, how much of that do you think is like a sustainable force being versus something kind of matchup specific against those guys?
Well, I think when we look at the production, like it's great to have Ree starting to get more comfortable, and I thought last week was the first week in practice where he's looked more like himself. It's cool to see that show right away in the games. ND's just getting more and more comfortable each game. Tomas has been, he's kind of moved on from being a freshman almost at this point with his experience, and so I think we've got a lot more depth coming off the bench. Those freshmen have got more experience. Parker's made some huge strides and looking more comfortable. So I can go down a list. Case Wynot has been just every week seems like he's got some other tough break, but to have him back, I think will be good as well. So I just think it's experience those guys are gaining, and late in the season that we'll start to see more of that payoff.
Something a little bit off the wall for you. I want to go back to when Cedric first got hurt earlier in the season. He was telling me about like the meeting that he had with you guys in terms of just like the news or what his diagnosis was. One, like, what do you remember just like about the way he handled that, and as the season has gone on, like the impact of him being so involved with the team and practicing games and things like that?
I think that both or everything that happened there just speaks so highly of Cedric's character. Like, we found out the news, brought him in, hugged, talked, felt sorry for ourselves for a few minutes, and then it was right on to what's next. Here's how we attack this. Here's what the next plan looks like. Here's what the timeline looks like. How can I help myself right now? And he bought into that. We talked about can I become more of a student of the game? Can I almost look at it like a coach for the next few months and learn from that side? Can I help my teammates and work with them? And that was like, everyone hears that when they get hurt. Everyone kind of has that idea, but Cedric's really embodied that, and you guys see it on the sideline in games how involved he is. When you come to practices, you can see he's a part of every huddle, he's a part of every drill. He's given me ideas left and right, and the other coaches. And so it's just a unique kid, and you don't get to the place that he's at without being unique and special, and he's shown that even when he's been hurt.
Coach, sorry to ask the hard hitters, but you and a couple guys on this teams you've coached in the past, historically haven't had your best performances in tournaments. Obviously, different team, different program, but what, I guess, are you going to approach differently maybe this time around?
You know, I think our mindset going in has been that we're going to go attack this, and we're kind of the underdog mentality. And I think that wasn't the case for us the last couple of years. And so we got different personnel. We got some really dynamic guard play, and our team is getting more depth at this point in the season rather than the last couple of years. I feel like we have injuries going down the stretch, and so I feel like we're kind of peaking at the right time right now, and it's been cool to see. It'll be cool to see what that looks like here coming up to the tournament.
Seems like you guys have had a lot of ups and downs this season. Headed into the tournament, how can you learn from all of those moments, and what are you bringing to the tournament?
Well, I think our guys have taken those moments in stride, and we had a tough month or so, February into January, and our guys, I think, have really come back and approached it the right way. We've had a great 3 weeks of practice, and that's finally shown in games last week, and we're coming into the tournament on a winning streak, just like, you know, everyone else is. We're trying to find some positive momentum, and I think we've got that.
Announced earlier, your contract had been extended a year. Just your kind of thoughts on that and the decision and so on.
I'm really excited for the future here at Washington State, and just honored that the administration, Ann and Ike, and everyone involved has faith in me to go lead this program. And for me personally, like, to see the growth and just the overall support that we're going to have going forward and going into this new conference it's right up there with every other conference in the country, this new Pac-12. And so I see the direction we're going. I got a lot of confidence in what we're doing, and just honored to be kind of a part of this university and this program, and excited to see what's next.
Nice, Coach.
Go Cougs.